Welcome back, friends. Let us continue with the remaining part of the North America. What we have studied in the previous lecture is the Western Cordilleras or the Rocky Mountain system of the North America. Now let us come to the central part. What we have already done, that this entire part is the mountainous region. What is the mountain here? To the south, it is the Alaska Range. Which highest peak lies in the Alaska Range? It is Mount Whitney. This is the Brooks Range. And then here we have the Cordillera or the Rocky Cordilleras, a series of different mountains, which then continues as the Coast Range, Cascade Range, etc. We have the Columbia Plateau, the Great Plains, the Inland Drainage System, that is the Great Basin, and we have the Colorado Plateau region, which includes the Death Valley, etc. Now let us come and study the central lowlands of the North America. The central lowlands of the North America again can be divided into the central lowlands of USA and the central lowlands of Canada region. The central lowlands of USA and the central lowlands of Canada. Now the central lowland lies in the central part and in the Canadian region versus the USA region. How does it differ? We will see that in the Canadian region. Now you can see in the atlas the central lowland, the central part in the Canada is made up of numerous different lakes. So the central lowlands in Canada, the central lowlands is an example of an outwash plain in Canada. Outwash plains in the north. Outwash plains in the north means which kind of a topography? Outwash plains are the part of which topography? This is an example of an glaciated topography. This is an example of a glaciated topography. It is an example of a outwash plains in the north is an example of an glaciated topography. And because, as we have studied in the glaciated topography lecture, that in any glaciated topography, there will be what? There will be presence of numerous lakes. Because if you remember, the glaciated regions are stratified or scratched regions. And in this region, there will be numerous lakes. And therefore, there are some of the lakes, important lakes, which you should remember from the preliminary examination point of view are the Great Lakes of North America and the Great Lakes of, that is the Lakes of Canada and the Great Lakes of the North America region. Why the North America region? Because the Great Lakes are shared by both USA and Canada. Now what are these lakes? From the north to south, there are some important lakes are, what is the name of the first lake here? This is I will mark it as 1. The first lake is Great Bear Lake. Great Bear Lake. Which country? It lies in Canada. Then the second lake which is here is you can see it is a Great Slave Lake. The second lake which is present is the Great Slave Lake. There is a Great Slave Lake. Don't do all the lakes. Now come directly, leave the lake, Athabasca, etc. Then the lake is the Reindeer Lake. You can remember, if you want to remember, you just go through it. It will strike in the examination. Don't worry, just ek ya do baar keep on revising it. Revise it 3 times, then it will strike in the examination. For example, Great Bear Lake, if I say, remember Canada. Slave Lake, Canada. Reindeer Lake, Canada. How to remember it? Let us first remember the lakes here. Reindeer Lake. Then the other important lake is Lake Winnipeg. If you find here, there is one lake which is here, that is the Lake Winnipeg. Fourth lake is Lake Winnipeg. And the fifth lake which you will find here is the Lake Winnipegosis. The fifth lake which you will find here is the Lake Winnipegosis. Now, what is one more thing you should remember? There is the one river which is flowing into the Lake Winnipegosis. What is the name of that river? You can see there is one river which is draining here. That is the river Saskatchewan. Which river? River Saskatchewan flows into the Winnipegosis. River Saskatchewan flows into the Lake Winnipegosis. Now, how to remember? If I ask you, if the UPSC will ask you where is the Great Bear Lake located, how to remember the country? Canada. Now, bears are formed in the northern hemisphere, North Pole. So, Great Bear Lake near the North Pole, that is the northernmost lake of the Canada. We humans make bear as our slaves for entertainment, for the dance show. So, Bear Lake के नीचे Slave Lake. Reindeer Lake कहाँ पे है? Again, reindeer is an animal. Reindeer draws reindeer pulls the cart of a Santa Claus. So, Reindeer Lake again in the northern part, that is Canada में. Winnipegosis. Winnipegosis, how to remember? Winnipegosis में river Saskatchewan flows. So, S-I-S-S-A-S. Winnipegosis, Saskatchewan. Is it not rhyming? Sas. So, Winnipegosis mein river Saskatchewan flows. For general studies, this is more than enough. We are doing more than enough. We are preparing for the most difficult of the questions. So, Great Bear Lake, Great Slave Lake, Reindeer Lake, Lake Winnipeg, Lake Winnipegosis. Winnipegosis mein river Saskatchewan flows. Now, what is more important in this is the Great Lakes of North America. Now, there are 5 important lakes of the North America, and these lakes are, can you tell me the name of these lakes? These lakes are, you can see in the atlas here, that is, this region of the North America is made up of 5 Great Lakes. And these lakes are Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, Lake Erie, and Ontario. So can you find Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, Lake Erie, and Ontario? So the 5 lakes of North America. Now, what are these 5 lakes? Are they an example of what are these? These are also an example of the Great Lakes are also an example of an glaciated lakes. So the Great Lakes is also an example of glacial origin. These are also of a glacial origin. These are also of a glacial origin. Now you can see how these Great Lakes are. Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, Lake Erie, and Lake Ontario. So these are the Great Lakes of the North America. This is the Lake Superior. This is the Lake Michigan. This is Lake Huron. This is Lake Erie. And this is Lake Ontario. It's Lake Ontario. Now, how to remember this? These lakes are in the form of homes. H-O-M-E-S. This is the shortcut to remember the lakes. H-O-M-E-S. But this is not the order. The order, if I ask you from west to east, it is from west to east. How is the order? It is S. It is superior. Superior ke baad, what are this Great Lakes? Michigan. S-M-H-E-O. This is from west to east, is it? It is S-M-H-E-O. Superior, Michigan, Huron, Erie and Ontario. Superior, Michigan, Huron, Erie and Ontario. But if I ask you, okay, fine, which is the largest of all the Great Lakes? From the name itself you can say Superior. The name has been given Superior Lake, Superior, because it is the largest of all the Great Lakes. So size-wise, the Great Lakes are, largest is Lake Superior. Uske baad, how to remember the size? Just interchange M with H, H with M here. So, just interchange, it becomes S-H-M-E-O. So, the largest is Superior, uske baad it is Huron, uske baad it is Michigan, Erie and Ontario. But as per the west to east, it is S-M-H-E-O. So, just have a brief idea of the Great Lakes, S-M-H-E-O, and then size-wise, interchange the place between M and H. It becomes S-H-M-E-O. These are the Great Lakes region of North America. Now after this, not only this Great Lakes region, it is one of the, this region is one of the rich region in natural resource. Now if I ask you how this Great Lakes region is, now this Great Lakes region is also industrially one of the most developed region of North America. Why? Because this region of North America, I have rubbed the North America map, but you can refer into the atlas. You see this region of North America surrounding the Great Lakes region, surrounding this region is known as a New England region. It is rich in minerals. It is rich in, you can see water resource, it is rich in water resource. Great Lakes region, the Great Lakes are not at a same height. In fact, you remember this are Lake Superior will be at a greater height. Then uske baad there will be Lake Michigan. Uske baad there will be Lake Huron, Erie and Ontario. So this is how the location of the Great Lakes is. So this is how the location of the Great Lakes is. So when the water passes from, there is one river which passes through the Great Lakes region, and what is the name of a river? Look in the atlas and tell me. The most important river of the Great Lakes region is the St. Lawrence River. The St. Lawrence River is an important river of the Great Lakes region. And in fact, you can see this region, the Great Lakes region, is surrounded by so many industrial towns. So many industrial towns that the St. Lawrence River is one of the most important economic waterway of USA. So it is an important river, not just that it is the largest, biggest river, it is a small tiny river. But why are we studying? Because it is an important waterway of North America. You see, this is the industrially most developed region of North America. Many industrial towns such as Detroit, Chicago, Milwaukee, Gary, Pittsburgh, etc. are located in this region. So industrially, that's how high is the technical development. That is, if a ship carries a load from this region, it goes to this Great Lakes. Niche se a bridge will come, take the ship to the next Great Lake. Then it will put the ship into the next Great Lake, and ultimately in which ocean it will put? Pacific or Atlantic Ocean? St. Lawrence River, where does it go? It goes into the Atlantic Ocean. Flows into the Atlantic Ocean. It flows into the Atlantic Ocean. Now the St. Lawrence River, see the importance of a St. Lawrence River. St. Lawrence River, see this importance of the major river, that is the St. Lawrence River. Most of the industrial developed town here, from here the St. Lawrence River will carry into the Atlantic Ocean. From Atlantic Ocean to another one of the most industrialized, developed or most developed region of the world, that is the Northwestern Europe. From Northwestern Europe, it will go to the North Sea, and then from Rotterdam here in Europe, it will enter the rivers of Europe. From the Rotterdam region of Europe, it will enter the rivers of Europe. And from that rivers of Europe into the Mediterranean Sea, from the Mediterranean Sea into the Suez Canal, and Suez Canal say then in Asia. So remember, in fact, this North Atlantic, this ocean is North Atlantic. This ocean is the North Atlantic, USA, Europe. It is the most busiest and economically the most important sea route in the world. It is the most busiest sea route in the world. It's the most busiest sea route in the world. So two questions here. Which river flows through the Great Lakes region? St. Lawrence River. Where does it drain into? It drains into the Atlantic Ocean. Now, which is the most busiest sea route in the world? Around in the North Atlantic region, in the Pacific region, in the which is the most busiest sea route in the world? The North Atlantic region, the Pacific region, or the region surrounding Singapore, that is the Indian Ocean region? So you have an answer. It is the North Atlantic region is the most busiest. One developed market to another developed market. Obviously, economically, these are the two superpowers, and therefore this is the most busiest sea route in the world. Now, not only this thing. Not only this thing, as you have seen, the Great Lakes region is at a different elevation. So there are numerous rapids, numerous waterfalls in the Great Lakes region. And when I say the waterfalls of the Great Lakes region, or when I say about the waterfall, which waterfall comes to your mind? It is the Niagara Falls. It is no doubt it will be Niagara Falls unless. So, because generally everyone dreams of going to the Niagara Falls, I want to ask you between two, which lakes is the famous Niagara Falls located? On the Lake Superior, Lake Huron, Lake Erie, Lake Ontario. Remember, the Niagara Falls are located between the Erie and Ontario. Niagara Falls are located between the Erie and Ontario. And this area is, if it is this one of the largest waterfalls in the world by volume, in fact, you remember, this area is also has a well-developed canal system, and this area is known as a Welland Canal. Again, if you can remember Welland Canal system, what kind of a canal? For the St. Lawrence waterway, the ships are taken through canals. There are shipping canals which have been built. So the Welland Canal. But remember, the Niagara Falls between which? Erie and Ontario. So repeat with me. Niagara between Erie and Ontario. Niagara Falls are between Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. So, similarly, between Lake Superior and Lake Huron, there is a Sioux Canal. There is a Sioux Canal between Superior and Huron. There is a Sioux Canal between the Lake Superior and Lake Huron. Superior pe Sioux Canal. This is what you remember. So, Sioux Canal is between Superior and Huron. Niagara is between Erie and Ontario. Erie and Ontario. Now, one more thing you should remember is this Great Lakes region does not lie between only in USA. This Great Lakes region is surrounded by in both USA and Canada. And if you remember why I have drawn a black line in the previous thing, is this is the border between USA and Canada. This is the border between USA and Canada. North में there is a Canada, and south में there is USA. South में there is USA. So this is the boundary line between USA and Canada. Now, one thing I want to ask you, which out of the 5 Great Lakes, which lake lies totally in USA? It does not lie in Canada. You can see from the diagram that Superior is between USA and Canada, Huron is between USA and Canada, Erie is between USA and Canada, Ontario is between USA and Canada, but Lake Michigan lies only in USA. So Lake Michigan lies totally in USA. Lake Michigan lies totally in the US. So Great Lakes region, it is a region of huge hydroelectric power project, can we say? Yes. You say that if such a huge volume of water falls down from the Niagara Falls, such a huge volume of water is present in this region. So obviously this is a region of high hydroelectric power. So you remember the Great Lakes region produce cheap hydroelectricity. Cheap hydroelectric power. The Great Lakes region produce cheap hydroelectric power. So remember, this produce cheap hydroelectric power. Also surrounding the Great Lakes region, you can see is the Canadian Shield area, is the Labrador and the Laurentian Plateau region, is the Lake Superior region. This Lake Superior region, this region surrounding the Lake Superior, is rich in iron ore. Rich in iron ore. So it is rich in the iron ore. You are getting iron ore. We are getting cheap hydroelectric power. So no doubt, iron ore is present, cheap HEP is present. So no doubt this Great Lakes region is one of the most industrially developed region of USA. So no doubt it is one of the most industrially developed region of USA. So the Great Lakes region is one of the most industrially developed region of USA. USA and Canada. And therefore, because it is one of the most industrially developed region of USA and Canada, there are some of the important cities, important towns which are located. And because the important towns are located, UPSC generally will ask you question, what are the important towns which are located in the Great Lakes region? So this is the physical map. Then come here to the political map. And we will do only some of the important towns. One of the important towns. Now, one of the most important town which is not located on the Great Lakes, but it is very far in the Great Lakes, far away from the Great Lakes, but in the Great Lakes region is the Pittsburgh. Is the Pittsburgh. Can you find the Pittsburgh region? Pittsburgh, it was where the first steel was produced in the world. And even today, it is the iron and steel capital of the world. So Pittsburgh, you remember, is the iron and steel capital of the world. And iron and steel industry is the backbone of any industry. Iron and steel industry will attract ancillary subsidiary industries. Iron and steel industry है तो बाजू में ही there will be automobile industry. After the automobile industry will come, there will be tire industry coming. Once the tire industry comes, paint industry, varnish industry may come, leather industry, seat industry may come, audio industry will come, testing or small equipment industry will come, machinery and tool industry will come, the small nut bolt industry may come, bearing industry may come, spare part industry may come. So this is how the industrial development of a region takes place. One big industry, if it comes to an area, the surrounding area becomes industrially developed. That is what we call as an inertia or the attracting power of a region. Therefore, generally when we say industrial development should be done in the poor or the backward regions. But backward region, because it does not have a strong industries, generally do not attract the other industries, and the vicious cycle of remaining backward and no industrialization remains in that area. On the other hand, in the cities like Mumbai, one basic industry, the surrounding region also becomes industrial. This applies to the city, this applies to the state, this applies to the nation, this applies to the region. So this is the industrially rich region, Pittsburgh. But some of the important cities which are located on the different lakes is on the Lake Superior. On the Lake Superior, we have the city of Duluth. We have the city of Duluth. The most important from the UPSC point of view, we have on the city, on Lake Michigan. On Lake Michigan, we have the cities of Chicago. We have the city of Chicago. What is the importance of a Chicago? The largest railway junction in the world. Center for railway industry. It is an important railway junction, locomotive industry here. Then it is an important center for food processing industry, meat packaging industry. So it is located on which lake? It is located on Lake Michigan. Can you see in the atlas Chicago where it is located? You will find in the atlas it is located somewhere here on the Lake Michigan. Then we have another important iron and steel center, that is the Gary. Gary is important for iron and steel industry. And we have another important center which is for wheat industry, which is for milk industry. The name itself says it is Milwaukee. Milwaukee. Remember, ये लाल कलर में इसलिए I have written it in the red color because in case if you don't want to remember Superior, it is fine. But do not forget these three cities which are located on Lake Michigan. Do not forget these three cities which are located on Lake Michigan. Again, I am repeating. That is why this is the most important. So repeat with me. Chicago on Lake Michigan. CM. In the lakes, you remember CM, a shortcut chief minister, Chicago, Michigan. Gary, he was a CM. So Gary, Chicago, Michigan. Milk drinking Gary was CM. So Milwaukee, Gary, Chicago all are on Lake Michigan. Locomotive, railway junction, food processing industry, iron and steel, food processing, dairy farming industry, dairy industry. Milwaukee rhymes with milk, so dairy industry in the Milwaukee region. Then the third important town here is, the third important lake here is Lake Erie. Lake Erie. And यहाँ पे also very important from the exam point of view is the major center on the Lake Erie. The major center on the Lake Erie is Detroit. Now tell me, why is the Detroit famous? Especially boys, especially automobile lovers. The Detroit is the automobile capital of the world. It is famous for automobile industry. So Detroit is the automobile capital of the world. Famous for automobile industry. Automobile capital, automobile industry. Which is the famous car company from USA? Ford Motors. Ford Motors is the famous car company from USA. So Detroit, remember, is the Ford Motors. Detroit, Ford Motors, famous car company from USA. Automobile industry. So, and if I ask you, which is the Detroit of India? Detroit of India, matlab the name says which city in India is famous for automobiles. If I ask you which city is the Detroit of India, and if I give you option of 1, Gurgaon, if I give you the second option of Pune, if I give you the third option of Chennai, which city is the Detroit of India? If I ask you which is the city which is known as the Detroit of India, why I am asking you this? It is because Gurgaon mein what is there? Maruti Suzuki Limited is in Gurgaon. Pune mein you have Tata Motors, you have Bajaj, you have surrounding the Pune in Mumbai you have Mahindra Motors. Pune you have Mercedes Benz. Pune ke paas you have Audi. Skoda is in Aurangabad region. So Kinetic is in Pune. But the Detroit of India is neither Pune nor Gurgaon. It is the Chennai which is known as a Detroit of India. The major company in Chennai is the TVS Motors and Hyundai, Honda, etc. are in Chennai. So Detroit of India is Chennai. The Detroit of India is the Chennai region. Detroit of India is Chennai. And lastly, one of the larger cities on Ontario, Lake Ontario pe, the larger cities is on Lake Ontario. Larger cities is the Toronto. Is Toronto. Is the Toronto region. So Toronto is the one of the larger cities on Lake Ontario. So this is all about the Great Lakes region. This is all about this part of North America. To divide the Great Lakes region, we will continue with the central lowlands and come to the prairie grassland. And I won't divide this into physical or political. We will try to do only things which are important for preliminary examination. So till the time we meet again, thank you very much. Hi friends, welcome back to the continuation of the North America. What we studied in the previous lecture is the western part of North America and the central part of the North America. I stopped here in the Great Lakes region. What I asked you to remember in the Great Lakes region, I asked you to remember the lakes from north to south and some of the important cities which are located on the lake. For example, where is Detroit located? Detroit is located on the Lake Erie. Which lake totally lies in India, in the USA? Lake Michigan lies totally in USA. Now let us look at the other part of the Great Plains, that of the central part or the central lowland, that is this part of North America. This part of North America is known as the Great Plains region. Is the Great Plains. What are these Great Plains? These Great Plains are an example of a temperate or the tropical grasslands. That is, whether they are the grasslands in the tropical region or whether they are the grasslands in the temperate region. So these are the examples of a temperate grasslands. These are the examples of temperate grasslands. And like any temperate grassland, so the prairie, they are known by different names. And they are, the Great Plains are temperate grasslands made up of temperate grasslands, and these are known as prairies of North America. These are known as the prairie grasslands of North America. Now, what is the difference between the savanna grassland, which is a tropical grassland, and the temperate grassland? In the savanna grassland, the grasses are tall because there is more of a evaporation and less of a precipitation. That means there is total evapotranspiration, or the loss of water through evaporation and transpiration is high. The tropical grasslands are coarse grasses. क्या है उसमें? They have thorns, they have कांटे on it. And because they are the coarse grasses, the यहाँ पे animal rearing in the tropical grasslands is not an important occupation. This is what we see in the savanna regions. This is what we see in the